What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Film Study for Rookies. Today, man, we got to talk about Treylon Burks because he was just released by the Tennessee Titans. All right, former first-round pick. And the reason we're going through his college highlight tape, well, I guess if you didn't know, we are now, right? The reason we're going through it is because I want to look at, all right, what made the Titans want to draft him in the first round, right? What made them say, okay, this is our guy? So, first thing I see, big physical body. All right, he's going to play the outside, potentially an X receiver for them. Smooth route running for a big receiver, too. Let me run that back real quick. All right. Bang, bang. Beats him to the outside. Got speed on top of that. Ball a little bit underthrown, right? Turns on the jets. He's going to take that one in for 6. All right. Nice little jet sweep right here. So, I mean, he's smooth. He can play the X. All right. Jet sweep, too. I mean, he's a big receiver who can book it. Kind of reminds me of another receiver who didn't work out, which was Dorial Green Beckham, right? That's kind of who he reminds me of in this day and age where if he doesn't pan out with another team, that's kind of the vibe he's giving me right now, is kind of that Dorial Green Beckham type, for those of you who remember. I mean, you saw the jet sweep. You saw him beat the press. You see these contested catches. All right, and then right here, you got him in the slot, right? 4 receiver split. DB manned up on him. All right, looks like what, single high safety over the top. Nope, it's a cover 0. So cover 0 right here. He beats his guy at 6. Now, here's what I want to talk about, though, right? Because I think 2 things can be true with every story, right? And usually there's 2 sides to every story, too. First thing I want to do is I want to look at is the quarterback play he had. Now, obviously, he got hurt this past season, right? But look at the quarterback, right? You had Will Levis throwing for 127, 192, 260, and Mason Rudolph comes in and throws for 85 yards, right? Then you look at the rushing. Usually one of those should be higher than the other. Well, I mean, as a Panthers fan, it hasn't been lately this past few seasons, right? But 82, 62, 14, and 88. So, I mean, you got Tony Pollard not really doing a lot, but then can he do a lot if the passing game isn't getting going, right? So that's 2024. Then let's go back a year. Then we jump to 2023, all right? We start the first half of the season with Ryan Tannehill. So 198, 240, 104, 240, 260, 76. And that was kind of the story behind Tannehill, right? Against bad defenses, he was going to play good for the most part. Against good defenses, he wasn't going to play good, right? And so, bang, here comes Will Levis, 238, 260, 199, 158, 185, 224, and 327. Definitely an upgrade compared to Tannehill, right? And then you jump back to Burks, all right, rookie season. Tannehill, 266, 117, 264, 137, 181, 132, all right? Then you look at Malik Willis, 55 and 80. Tannehill definitely finished off stronger at the end of the season. And I don't know that the offense was suited for Burks, to be honest with you. I mean, you could make the case, right, where it's a run-heavy offense and maybe it's a 2 receiver split. And like I talked about in the film, we saw him in college. Big physical receiver. He can play the X, can play the Z potentially with his footwork, how quick he is. Maybe not, right? Maybe he was better off in a 3 receiver trips kind of formation set. It didn't seem like the Titans offense really did a lot for him. But now let's take a look at what happened lately. So just within this past week, Titans released Treylon Burks days after he suffered a broken collarbone in training camp. All right, Treylon Burks' time with Tennessee is over. The Titans waived the receiver Monday afternoon, days after he suffered a broken collarbone at practice. It marked the latest significant injury Burks has dealt with since landing in Tennessee, which we're going to take a look at in a second. But Burks, who was set to enter his 4th season in the league, appeared in just 27 games over 3 seasons with the franchise that selected him with an 18th overall pick out of Arkansas. He missed 5 games in each of his first 2 seasons and then went down with an ACL, ending this past campaign. Now, after recovering from that knee injury, Burks then went down with his collarbone injury, making a diving catch along the sideline at training camp Saturday. That's rough, man. All right, you get diving catch, you know, collarbone's injured, and now you're waived by the Titans. But it might be good for him, right? Because it didn't seem like it was going to work in Tennessee. Because if you look right here, He racked up 699 yards and 1 touchdown on 53 catches over his 3 seasons with the Titans. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know it was that bad. 699 yards, 1 touchdown on 53 catches. Ooh, that's rough. This gets interesting. Now we can keep talking about it and Calvin Ridley and everything else and who they drafted. But if you look at his injury history, all right, Burks avoids surgery, a pedal toe turf, all right, October 2nd, 2022, rookie year. And then a couple months later, concussion, definitely unfortunate. Go to year number 2 right here. Burks goes down in a joint practice. And you jump after that to the ACL injury. As you can see, man, it just didn't work out. And then we jump to last year. All right, what do we see? We got a nice little hitch right here. DB's playing what, 11, 12 yards off right there. All right, and then he drops that. That's not a good look. That's not what you want, 2nd and 15. All right, 2nd and 7 right here. A little stick right, it looks like. All right, he's going to sit right there, bang. Bounce it to the outside. Holds on to it, but then he breaks a tackle, loses a couple of yards. Okay, not the end of the world. All right, single back play action right here. Will Levis is going to throw this thing up. Now, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. All right, because, you know, I talked about Burks being able to be the outside receiver, right? But this goes back to what I said about the quarterback play. This should not have been the read, right? This should not have been the read. Single high look. Let's go back real quick. Single high look. If the safety is already 10 yards back and he's still backpedaling right here, I'm not sure what Will Levis is looking at, right? You see man coverage. I highly doubt the linebacker or nickel is going to drop that far back to pick up our receiver coming from the outside. No chance. Will Levis, clean pocket right here for the most part. What's he do right here? Do we go here? No, he tries to go X, marks the spot right here. He's going to throw it into double coverage. Right? Now, I'm not saying Treylon Burks played amazing in Tennessee, but this is the quarterback play right here, guys. All right? Top of the drop. You clearly see what the safety is doing, right? Look him off. Bang, now he's turning his hips. Why are we not going here where X marks the spot? Nope, we're going to throw it into double coverage. Let's keep it going. Look at the next one. All right, right here. A little bit of tight formation right here. All right, let's take a look what happens. We're looking to the left, looking to the left, looking to the left. Comes back to the middle. All right. Not bad. I think he was waiting for Ridley to get open, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Let's take a look right here. So what are we looking at? Okay. Very stagnant in the pocket. Footwork. Ooh, Lord. Okay, so I don't hate the throw, right? And he hits Burks. All right, what are we looking at next? 2nd and 7 against Green Bay once again. We're going to throw it up. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what. So he's trying to get the safety. He's trying to look off the safety right here. You bring him over there and then go one-on-one. But the safety, at no point does he bite to the front. At no point. I'm telling you guys, I mean, sure, Treylon didn't play great, right? Injured. But you talk about his yards and everything else. This was the quarterback play. This can't be the move, man. This can't be. It can't be the move. The quarterback play. And then right here is exactly what I talked about at the beginning of the video. Right? Being that X in that run heavy formation, right? So first read's going to be right here. That's picked up. All right. So he's progressing to his reads. All right. I get all that. Then bang. Go to the crosser right there on the backside. All right. That makes sense. Okay. So let's talk about it. Will Burks ever be that elite receiver, right? That first round talent? Maybe, maybe not, right? Depends on the offense, depends on the quarterback play within that offense, and ultimately comes down to injuries. I still think he can play, as we saw, but you saw when he was getting targeted by the quarterback, right? And then unfortunately, coming back from a torn ACL, 4th year, it's going to be rough. So let me know your thoughts. Let's wrap it up. Film study for rookies is out. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.